The profound tragedy of Gecko Moria. From Kozuki hero to Shadow King. A comprehensive character analysis exploring the depths of One Piece's most misunderstood antagonist, Gecko Moria, stands as one of One Piece's most tragically complex characters, a figure whose villainy masks a profound story of loss, ambition, and the corrupting nature of trauma. Recent revelations in Chapter 1158's cover story have fundamentally recontextualized everything we thought we knew about this former warlord, revealing him not just as Gecko Moria, but as KOZUKI Moria, a member of Wano's ruling family and a forgotten hero of the isolated nation. This revelation transforms Moria from a simple antagonist into a deeply layered character whose story interweaves with the very fabric of One Piece's overarching narrative. To truly understand Moria's significance, we must examine his journey through multiple lenses: his tragic past, his spectacular rise and fall, his unique abilities, and most importantly, what his KOZUKI heritage means for the future of the series. The bombshell dropped in Chapter 1, 1158's cover story, cannot be overstated in its significance. When Yamato, Kikunojo, and Ocho visit a grave mark, KOZUKI Moria, in Wano's Ringo region, Oda fundamentally rewrites our understanding of this character. This isn't merely a twist. It's a revelation that adds profound depth to every aspect of Moria's story, the hero of Wano. Before he became the shadow-manipulating lord of Thriller Bark, Moria was a defender of Wano country. As a member of the KOZUKI clan, he would have been part of the ruling family that governed Wano for centuries. The fact that his grave exists in Ringo, the same region where the legendary samurai Ryuma was buried, suggests that Moria was considered a hero worthy of remembrance alongside Wano's greatest warriors. This heroic past starkly contrasts with the lazy, defeated man we encounter in Thriller Bark. The Moria who fought to defend his homeland was likely driven by the same noble spirit that characterized other KOZUKI family members like Oden and Momonosuke. He was probably a man of honor, strength, and conviction, qualities that make his later transformation all the more tragic. The Poneglyphs connection. Perhaps most significantly, Moria's KOZUKI heritage means he possesses the ability to read and potentially carve poneglyphs. The KOZUKI family has been the guardian of this ancient knowledge for over the 800 years, with this skill being passed down through generations. This makes Moria one of the most valuable individuals in the entire One Piece world, possessing knowledge that could unlock the secrets of the Void Century and the location of a laugh tale. This revelation adds a new dimension to every interaction Moria has had throughout the series. Did the world government know about his heritage when they made him a warlord? Is this why Blackbeard is so interested in him? The implications ripple through the entire narrative structure of One Piece. To understand the tragedy of Moria's fall, we must first appreciate the heights from which he tumbled. 23 years ago, Moria was not the shadow of his former self we met in Thriller Bark. He was a force capable of standing toe-to-toe with Kaido himself. The confrontation between Moria and Kaido in Wano's Ringo region represents one of the most significant off-screen battles in One Piece history. This wasn't a brief skirmish or a one-sided slaughter. Multiple sources confirm that Moria fought equally against Kaido. For context, this means Moria was operating at a level comparable to a Yonko, making him one of the strongest pirates of his generation. Consider what this means. Kaido, who would later be known as the world's strongest creature, found in Moria a worthy opponent. This suggests that Prime Moria possessed not just tremendous physical strength, but also the advanced haki and combat prowess necessary to match one of the series' ultimate antagonists. When Kaido killed Moria's crew, he didn't just eliminate a group of pirates. He murdered Moria's family, his dreams, and his faith in the bonds that make piracy meaningful. Each death represented a personal relationship, a shared memory, and a piece of Moria's identity that could never be recovered. The psychological impact cannot be overstated. Moria went from being a hero protecting his homeland and leading a legendary crew to being a sole survivor carrying the weight of total failure. This kind of trauma fundamentally rewires a person's psychology, and we see its effects in every aspect of Moria's later behavior. Moria's subsequent obsession with zombies represents a twisted attempt to solve the problem of loss through necromancy. If living people can die and abandon you, then undead servants become the perfect solution. They cannot betray you, cannot leave you, and cannot die again. This philosophy reveals the depth of Moria's trauma and his fundamental misunderstanding of what made his original crew valuable. The irony is profound. In trying to avoid the pain of loss, Moria created a situation where genuine bonds became impossible. His zombie crew, while loyal, could never provide the camaraderie, growth, and mutual support that make pirate crews special. The construction of Thriller Bark, described as the largest ship in the world, represents both Moria's lingering ambition and his complete withdrawal from meaningful human connection. This massive vessel served as both a fortress and a prison, allowing Moria to pursue his goals while remaining isolated from the risks of genuine relationships. However, recent revelations about Moria's KOZUKI heritage shed new light on several mysterious aspects of Thriller Bark that fans have theorized about for years. The most compelling theory suggests that Thriller Bark itself may contain remnants of God Valley, the legendary island that was erased from history after the God Valley incident 38 years ago. Several pieces of evidence support the theory that Thriller Bark incorporates parts of the destroyed God Valley, Captain John's presence. The presence of Captain John as a zombie on Thriller Bark is particularly significant, as John was a former Rocks pirate who participated in the God Valley incident. The question arises, how did Moria obtain John's body? If Thriller Bark contains remnants of God Valley, it would explain how Moria had access to the corpses of multiple legendary pirates from that era. The ship's origins. Brooke mentioned in episode 339 that Thriller Bark was originally located in the West Blue, which aligns with God Valley's rumored location before its destruction. The theory suggests that when God Valley was obliterated, fragments of the island, along with the bodies buried there, survived and were later incorporated into Thriller Bark's construction. The presence of multiple former rocks. Pirates' corpses on Thriller Bark suggest that Moria had access to a concentrated collection of legendary pirates' remains, which would make sense if he had acquired remnants of the battlefield where these legends fell. This recontextualization of Thriller Bark transforms it from simply a spooky pirate ship into a floating repository of world history, making Moria's role in the story far more significant than originally apparent. He wasn't just hoarding random corpses, he was preserving, in his twisted way, the physical remains of the pirate world's most crucial historical figures. Current state and future possibilities. Being captured by Blackbeard places Moria in a unique position. He's simultaneously a prisoner and a potential asset, his value dependent on what he's willing to reveal about his past and his abilities. This captivity could serve as a catalyst for character development, forcing him to confront his failures and decides what kind of person he wants to be moving forward. The revelations of Moria's KOZUKI heritage opens up numerous potential paths for his character development, each with profound implications for the broader One Piece narrative. As the series builds toward its final conflicts, characters with Poneglyph knowledge become increasingly valuable. The theory that Moria might join Cross Guild represents one of the most intriguing possibilities for his future. A more morally ambiguous path involves Moria genuinely aligning with Blackbeard. Gecko Moria, or KOZUKI Moria, stands at a crossroads that will define not only his personal legacy, but potentially the fate of the One Piece world itself. His journey from hero to villain to potential redeemer embodies the series' central themes about the power of dreams, the importance of bonds, and the possibility of redemption even after the darkest failures. As we move toward One Piece's endgame, Gecko Moria emerges not as the lazy, defeated antagonist we once knew, but as a complex figure whose choices could reshape the world. His shadows may have defined his past, but his light, the heroic spirit of his KOZUKI heritage, may yet illuminate the path to a better future. In the end, Moria's greatest feat may not be anything he accomplished in his prime, but what he chooses to do with the knowledge of who he truly is. For in the world of One Piece, it's never too late to reclaim your dreams, rebuild your bonds, and write a new chapter in the great adventure of life. The Shadow King's story is far from over, and his next chapter may be his greatest yet.